Imagine your prostate as a valve on a garden hose. When the valve is wide open, water flows strong and steady. But as that valve gets tighter, the stream weakens until it can nearly shut off. That's exactly what millions of men experience every single night after the age of 50. At first, it's just a little slower. Maybe you're waking up once or twice. Then it becomes 3, 4, even 5 times a night, and you wonder if you'll ever sleep all the way through again. Most guys shrug and say, well, that's just aging. But here's the truth. It doesn't have to be. There are natural ways to ease the pressure, support your prostate, and restore your flow without relying on pills that often cause dizziness, fatigue, or loss of libido. The prostate is a small gland, about the size of a walnut, that sits just below your bladder. As men get older, testosterone doesn't behave the way it used to. More of it gets converted into a stronger hormone called DHT, or dihydrotestosterone. Think of DHT like fertilizer, except instead of nourishing a garden, it feeds your prostate cells and makes them multiply. Slowly, the gland grows, and as it swells, it presses against the urethra, the tube that carries urine out. That's why you end up with urgency, a weak stream, and the frustration of never feeling like you've emptied completely. But here's what most men don't realize. Hormones are only part of the story. Lifestyle plays a huge role. Belly fat, high-carb diets, too much alcohol, and chronic inflammation act like fuel poured on the fire. Your prostate becomes like a sponge, soaking up those signals until it swells larger and larger. And while doctors often make it sound inevitable, research shows you can slow this process and in many cases, even reverse it by making targeted changes. One of the most powerful ways is through food. Nutrients aren't just calories, they act like natural medicines. Take pumpkin seeds, for example. They may look small, but they're packed with zinc and phytosterol compounds that directly support prostate health. In a year-long clinical trial, men who consumed pumpkin seed oil daily experienced significant reductions in their urinary symptoms. They had fewer nighttime trips, less urgency, and stronger flow without a prescription. Imagine what that would feel like for you, sleeping through the night, waking rested, and not worrying about finding the nearest bathroom every time you go out. Another powerful nutrient is lycopene, the red pigment found in tomatoes, watermelon, and pink grapefruit. Lycopene is a potent antioxidant, and research published in the Journal of Nutrition shows it not only helps reduce prostate enlargement, but also slows progression toward more serious conditions. It protects your prostate cells from the constant stress of inflammation. Men who eat diets rich in lycopene consistently show better prostate health than those who don't. And then there's green tea. Its compounds, especially catechins, fight inflammation and balance hormones, while cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage help reduce estrogen dominance, which surprisingly plays a role in prostate growth. No single food is a cure, but when you build a routine around these ingredients, you create a shield around your prostate. That's why cultures with diets full of seeds, vegetables, and antioxidants like Mediterranean or Asian diets have dramatically lower rates of prostate issues compared to Western diets filled with processed foods and sugar. That's not coincidence, it's cause and effect. Food is the foundation, but daily habits either fuel prostate problems or help reverse them. One of the biggest factors is weight. Belly fat isn't just stored energy, it's metabolically active. It pumps out estrogen and inflammatory chemicals that accelerate prostate growth. Research shows that men who lose even 5 to 10% of their body weight see meaningful reductions in urinary symptoms. That's not a crash diet, it's steady progress, and the payoff is enormous. Another overlooked tool is pelvic floor exercises. Most people think Kegels are only for women, but men benefit just as much. These simple contractions strengthen the muscles that support your bladder, giving you more control, reducing urgency, and improving flow. Studies prove that just 5 minutes a day of focused pelvic floor work or yoga stretches can make a measurable difference. Imagine sitting at a red light and realizing you no longer feel the desperate urge, you're simply in control. And here's a simple but powerful change: managing what you drink at night. Alcohol, caffeine, and late-night fluids act like irritants to the bladder, or see you up again and again. By shifting hydration earlier in the day and avoiding bladder triggers before bed, you can dramatically reduce nighttime bathroom trips. Small changes like these add up. Every pound you lose, every muscle you strengthen, every irritant you remove takes pressure off the valve and gives your bladder space to breathe again. Now let's talk about supplements, because this is where a lot of confusion and marketing hype take over. Saw Palmetto is the most famous. It's been marketed for decades as the natural solution for prostate health. But here's the reality. Large, well-designed studies, like the STEP trial, found that saw palmetto performed no better than placebo. That doesn't mean it's completely useless, but it's nowhere near the miracle it's advertised to be. Other botanicals, like pyjam, stinging nettleroot, and beta-sitosterol, have shown modest improvements in smaller studies. Some men do find relief, but results are inconsistent. Coconut oil and its fatty acid, lauric acid, show promising effects in early animal studies, potentially blocking the same enzyme that prescription drugs target. But in humans, the research isn't strong enough yet. Here's the key takeaway. Supplements may provide support, but they should never replace medical evaluation or lifestyle changes. Urologists and professional guidelines are clear on this. At best, they're helpful additions to a foundation built on nutrition, exercise, and smart daily choices. So how do these natural strategies compare to medication? Doctors often prescribe alpha blockers like damcilocin, which relax prostate muscles and improve flow, or 5-alpha reductase inhibitors like finasteride, which shrink the gland by blocking DHT. These drugs can reduce symptoms by 40 to 50%, but the trade-off is side effects of dizziness, fatigue, and sometimes sexual dysfunction. Now compare that to natural remedies. In clinical trials, pumpkin seed oil led to about a 30% reduction in symptom scores over a year. That's not as dramatic as prescription drugs, but it comes without a long list of side effects. Lycopene and green tea may not shrink the prostate dramatically, but they slow progression and protect cells from inflammation. Think of it this way. Medications are like power tools, fast, strong, but sometimes rough on the body. Natural remedies are like hand tools, slower, gentler, and much safer for long-term use. The smartest approach for many men isn't one or the other, but a balance guided by their doctor. Now, a quick but important word of caution. While most cases of enlarged prostate are benign, the symptoms can mimic those of prostate cancer. That's why red flags should never be ignored. If you notice blood in your urine, burning pain, sudden worsening of symptoms, or the inability to urinate at all, those are urgent signals. Men with a family history of prostate cancer also need regular checkups, no matter how healthy they feel. Ignoring these signs can lead to emergencies, like ending up in the ER with a catheter because the bladder can no longer push urine out. Don't wait until your body forces you into a crisis. So let's step back and look at the bigger picture. An enlarged prostate isn't just a normal part of aging. It's driven by hormones, inflammation, and lifestyle. By choosing foods like pumpkin seeds, tomatoes, and green tea, by losing weight, strengthening your pelvic floor, and avoiding bladder irritants at night, you can ease symptoms and reclaim your sleep. Supplements can play a role, but they're not the magic bullet. Medications are effective but come with trade-offs. The power lies in combining the right strategies for your body. And here's the most important part. Small daily changes add up. They may feel minor in the moment, but over weeks and months they reshape your health. Better sleep, stronger flow, more confidence to go out without worrying about bathrooms, more energy because your nights are finally restful again. That's what this is about, to getting back to living on your own terms. Your story matters. And you're not alone. Millions of men are quietly struggling with the same frustration. By sharing your experience, you could help someone else take action before it's too late. If this video brought you value, leave a comment below, and subscribe because the next lesson could be the one that changes your life.